Canada, while it didn't participate in the invasion of Iraq, the fact that Canada didn't call for the end of the sanctions was taking part in supporting the sanctions. Now, as far as the question of the invasion of Iraq, it's true that the Canadian government didn't participate in that invasion, but I think there was something that could have been done, which Canada could have initiated or taken part in. And there is something that's called Uniting for Peace resolution. That's a procedure of the Security Council. A procedure of the Security Council that calls for the withdrawal, for the end of the invasion and for the withdrawal of troops. This is the procedure was used. You know, if you look in your back in your history, in 1956, when Israel, England, and France invaded Egypt, that procedure was used and was passed by the General Assembly, and England and France withdrew from Egypt within a week. So that procedure could have been used in case there was a veto at the Security Council. You know? So again, here something that that Canada could have done something and it didn't. Finally, I'd like to say a word about the Canadian Council for Refugees, which is an umbrella organization of about 180 different organizations, different groups in Canada. That has been very sensitive to the question of Iraqi refugees, and they have called for action by the government, and they have publicized this on their website. And as you know, the Canadian Arab Federation is a member of the Canadian Council for Refugees, and they called for things like to increase support to countries hosting Iraqi refugees, means mainly Syria and Jordan. They have called for letting more, because now the number are coming to Canada are really ridiculous, just a few hundred, like letting more refugees come to Canada. They wanted to speed up the processing of applicants for refugee status. They also called for the resettlement of Palestinian refugees and border camps between Iraq and Syria. And finally, they called for additional resources for the embassies. Okay. So the Canadian Council for Refugees has called for this, and I think that many member societies of the Canadian Arab Federation, other people on the mailing list of the Canadian Arab Federation have received this call and have asked for endorsement, and we've heard from many of you that you have endorsed this. Now we need to go a step farther, and I think that what really we need is that we have to go a step farther in putting pressure on our members of parliament so that we can have the government to move. And at the same time, I think that the kind of world we live in today, in which international law has been put aside, that's why the invasion of Iraq was completely illegal and outside the international law, we're going to have more and more problems. The kind we have invasions like this and more refugees. Therefore, I think that we can we can push the government for more action. I think as a community, we can get more involved in doing the legwork for refugees and immigrants as they arrive here.